What's up, nerds? Welcome to another edition of Nerdy Entertainment Syndicate. You're listening to the podcast edition. We're coming to you again from the Upside Down, because I'm obsessing again over this Stranger Things. Now that the teaser season 2 came out,
Yeah, which
freaking my bean.
that's what everybody's been freaking about is that teaser trailer.
That's probably the
Not trailer,
biggest
but
thing.
teaser.
In the meantime, I've
And they won an award too for was it SAG?
yeah,
Yeah, it was SAG.
was it SAG? Like
Mhm.
best ensemble cast
Mm-hmm.
with the Winona Ryder faces.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was funny. I
Did
knew the
you-
internet was gonna latch onto that.
Did you see the remake they had with pizza, which made
What, it was like
sense?
pizza flying around. And
Yeah,
and
like-
she's like, oh, looking
yeah,
at it.
like
and
she saw pizza, smiled, ooh, delicious. And then she sees it moving around, so her
it's
eyes
like
start following it.
and
And then it goes into what's that guy's actor's name? Kurt or
the guy that was talking.
yeah, he goes into his mouth like he eats it. And that's
It's
when she
just
does the
like
whole shock face.
strange
Like, what?
face. Like,
And it comes back out, and that's when she does the whole take. I was like, meme for days.
because I saw it. I guess that evening that happened, the internet, like just like through my Facebook feed, is like, oh, Stranger Things cast won an award, and watch how excited they are. Was like basically the gist of the article. I'm watching the video, and I notice Winona doing her faces, and I was just like, the internet's gonna have a blast with this one.
I saw the substance speech, and I didn't see anything about, it's just, I want to check this out.
Yeah,
I couldn't concentrate to what he was saying.
because of her.
Yeah, I was like, what is she on?
At the same time, I was like, what is he talking about? I think I was making a few of the same faces. But I guess in the meantime, I've been putting Los's brain back together because it was just blown apart by Split. So you finally saw Split.
So I saw Split.
Was I right or was I right?
First of all, holy shit. Was that a
Right?
fucking crazy movie?
Because you texted me like, oh, mind blown. I was like, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, it just oozed and jizzed all over
Would
itself.
you say your brain nutted?
Yeah, that's it. It was an amazing movie.
Such a good movie. And then, like I was telling you, like I was trying to explain to you what happens at the end. I don't want to spoil it too much, but what happens, and like I was in the theater, like I screamed to myself, like
Was there other people in the theater that said anything? Like,
there was literally maybe 4 other people in the theater when I was watching it.
oh really?
Yeah, but right,
First of
such
all,
a good movie.
it's a top movie in the box office for the
It's
for the
been
first 3 weeks.
3 weeks, 4
3
weeks now, 3 weeks.
that it's been out.
Yeah.
And the last movie that did that was like years ago, which is big news, I guess, for horror kind of movies, because ultimately horror movies will always make a return on their investment because they're cheap.
That's
to make.
true. And
They will always
again, this one, same thing. Proves
make
it.
it a bomb, but after that first week, it will always get its return, and
But
then they sell it to the TV. But this movie is it's phenomenal. A lot of people are talking about it, and there's always people that like to spoil it. It seems like a lot of people are keeping their mouths shut.
That's the
with
thing.
This
This movie was like in the festival circuit, like South by Southwest or like a Fantastic Fest or something last year. So a big crowd of people got to see this movie, and the fact that they respected it so much, what happens at the end, we're gonna go full spoilers into it. So if you haven't seen it,
one. Tough shit. It's 3 weeks.
Yeah, there you go. The fact that they revealed that this is a sequel kind of tie-in to Unbreakable.
It's not a sequel. I never researched it. It's just it's to tie you
It's
in
in the same universe.
in the
It's-
universe. Yes, that's what this movie is
Yeah.
about. Is to tie you into this. This is in the same universe.
That's what another thing I love so much about it is this is he's universe building. This is something we saw 15 years ago with Unbreakable, and it's like it's back.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it was kept a secret for such a long time
Mm-hmm.
was freaking like another awesome thing about it. Overall, great. Even it's literally 15 to 20 seconds at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
This scene.
and that's not to put it lightly. That movie, even without those last 15 seconds, because the last 15 seconds was just kind of blow your mind.
Yeah,
But the movie itself made the movie.
that's what I said. This
Yeah.
movie is good.
Mm-hmm. Really
But then
good.
that last 15 seconds makes it mind-blowingly good. And it's to a specific set of people. Like I told you, like I know what kind of movies you'd like,
Mhm.
and I know you'd seen Unbreakable. I know you like Unbreakable. So that's why you go see this movie, and I know you will like it.
Yeah. So let's talk about, first of all, the premise of the film. 3 girls get abducted by this one crazy guy. And the big reveal was given away in the trailers. Which
The gist of the story is in
they-
the trailers. This guy gets
I think they
multiple
could- I
personalities.
think they could have hold out on that part.
on
but then again,
the
that's what-
Beast or the split personality.
Split personalities. But then again, when they showed the girl's like, oh, there's a female in there.
With Patricia.
Yeah, Patricia, and she comes in, and then it shows,
And it's him.
McElroy, and I was like, oh, geez. Remember I told you I saw that? I was like, oh, I want to see this.
That's what got me intrigued. The trailer too.
Either way, it was pretty cool, and he has 23 personalities, 24 in the end, but 23 personalities, and he switches back and forth between 4 or 5 of them. And it's crazy how each personality has their own set of demeanor and own set of accent and the way they talk.
That's another thing I like about just the premise and the idea, the story of it, is M. Night actually had this character originally in Unbreakable.
Oh, he did?
Because he took like psychology in college, and he was fascinated with this idea of multiple personalities, and what was it? The DID is what they call it. Something identity disorder, dissociative identity disorder. And he originally wrote this character to be in Unbreakable, the first movie. But because of it being so many characters, it was hard to kind of
make one movie off.
Make a cohesive story. So he took him, the split personality character, out of it, and just left it Bruce Willis, Sam Jackson story. And he's had this character ever since. And he's had the idea of like kind of doing this movie on its own with this one character. Right. And he decided, oh, let me incorporate it in this, make this universe building. But at the same time, the way just the idea of it, like I've heard before, I'm sure you've heard, like people with multiple personalities, how they can change their body chemistry somehow. Like an example in the movie is one of the characters has diabetes, and that one character
Patricia,
needs insulin. Right? No, it's a different one. That's one that you see in the computer videos when the girl finds the computer.
Oh yeah. And
like that's the only one that needs insulin medication for diabetes.
It's weird, yeah.
And yeah, just the way.
I don't think that really happens in real life.
But it's that little nugget of that idea
to show you that everybody's completely different.
Yeah, to create what this movie is.
And none of the characters know what's going on, correct?
They kind of
like they don't talk to each other.
The way they explain it is they're all fighting for the light, which means to come out, correct, and be that personality. And they're all like in a room of thrones where they're all sitting, and each one has their turn in the light.
And the only one that can willingly go into the light is Hodge. I think that was his name, right?
The little kid?
Yeah.
I forget his name, but I like that character too. What's his name? How am I blanking on his name?
But anyways, I think he's the only one that can willingly go into it, but he's so scared he just doesn't.
They're between the personalities of Dennis, the OCD character who kidnaps the girls, Patricia, the female character that we see, and the little boy, the 9-year-old boy. His name's on the tip of my tongue.
Isn't that Hodge?
No, not Hodge.
Hedwig.
Hedwig.
There you go.
Hedwig, etc. So between the three of them, they know that this character, the Beast, wants to come out, and it's basically the Beast is an amalgamation of all of them, and a creation that was created because of him working in the zoo, which we find out later. Yeah. Like all the reveals that come together are awesome. We even find out
it's from accumulation of all the animals around the zoo.
Yeah, and that's even kind of like hinted at by like talking to therapists. Like, you've told me about this Beast character. He's got like a skin as tough as a rhino. He can climb like a lizard, and like different traits and characteristics of these animals in the zoo.
And it shows you that he builds these characters on, like we earlier talked about, the necessity of the environment. So wondering, because he's around so many animals, he's like, oh, it'll be cool to be all these animals in one.
Well, that was the creation of the Beast. Like all these animals in one made the Beast in order to prove, because like it's told that he's working with this therapist. Is like, tell people my story, let them know that this is a real thing. Like my different personalities. I'm not crazy, so my different personalities. They each have their own body chemistry, their own physiology.
That was Kevin seeking out help.
That was Barry.
Wasn't it Kevin?
Actually, the character, but Kevin is the main, the main character who has the split personalities. Kevin, we meet at the end of the movie for the first time.
I thought it was because she always knew about Kevin, so I thought Kevin came to her first, and then the other personalities came around, or else she would have never known Kevin's real name.
Okay, you're maybe right with that, but we never see any of that interaction.
No,
we only see the character of Barry meeting with the therapist and interactions with Barry,
Then Patricia coming in and interacting with her.
deceiving as Dennis and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I mean, the story of that little nugget of the idea of like having these characters with their own physiology.
And think about how he pulls it off, though, going from voice to mannerism.
just the acting alone.
So that was a headache. I was like, geez, props to him, man.
Yeah.
Because like, I even told my wife, it's crazy how each of them have their own accent too. Like the way there's an accent to
They have their own accent. They own their own different body
Posture,
postures,
yeah, mannerisms,
and their own.
and when he has that part where he's just flipping through his characters, I guess, because when the big final reveal,
At
you
the
know,
end,
because she the psychiatrist or whatever, she goes, I know how to
yeah,
bring so and so to the light. I just gotta say his name, and in the end, she says the name, you know, Kevin, the full name, which I can't remember. But it's
Kevin Wendell Crumb.
Yeah, and takes Kevin to come out to the light, so the beast is no longer there, and Kevin tells her. Kevin doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, he essentially he's lost 2 years ago.
Yeah, he's like, well,
It's been about 2 years.
yeah,
since,
what year is this? So and so,
Yeah.
this is so and so, and he just goes, just kill me. Like, for him to realize, like, Jesus, 2 years, no, kill me.
Yeah,
And then when he says that, he's like, just kill me. And she has a shotgun. How he starts to flip through, or he doesn't have the shotgun, but he tells her where the shotgun is at, and he starts to flip through the characters
yeah.
and voice changing and accent to the next character, and it's just like, Jesus, that's props. How do you do that?
But first was even before then was that scene when he's talking to his therapist, when she realizes that the person she's talking to that comes to visit Barry is not the one that's sitting there, that it's Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way he kind of like finally reveals, like his face changes and he sits up straight, and then the voice changes. Like, wow, that was creepy. Like that got me. It's like, wow, he did an amazing job with like creating these characters and bringing them to life.
Yeah.
But the story, even the girls that were kidnapped, Anya Taylor-Joy, like I mentioned last episode, she was awesome in it. Like I love what she did in The Witch, but then her backstory was like dark and disturbing. Once
Yes,
like
it
you
was.
find bits and pieces of like
Child
how-
abuse with the uncle and all that. All like a trip.
that was disturbing.
That
When
was
Uncle
eerie.
says, "Come over here, let's play animals." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh no!"
That was so eerie.
I was like, "Please don't go any further than that." I understand what's happening,
But the
But
way
then-
he presented it was like,
Yeah.
creep status, goosebumps.
and then to me, like, yeah, it was just that was disturbing.
And then, you know what's worse? In the end, the uncle's still there.
yeah.
And she's just like,
Because at the end she's saved. He kidnaps 3 girls. He kills 2 of them because the beast needs
Eats
to
'em.
feed.
Mhm.
So he eats them. So the beast feeds on these girls, and so he's going after like the final girl, basically, quote unquote, Anya Taylor-Joy, and he sees that she's got scars all over her body.
and that's
like,
at the end
basically
after
from
he
physical
pretty much-
abuse or her
Yeah.
own, cutting and stuff like that. Like he's like, oh, you're broken. You're one of the strong ones like me. And so he lets her go.
Yeah.
And in that she goes, police come and like, hey, your uncle's here to pick you up. And I even like how they left that, like how she's just like kind of like, is she gonna tell the officer? Or is
Because
she
even the
gonna
officer
go
like
with-
gave that look like,
like what's up?
Yeah.
Kind of like what's going on? Like your uncle's here. You can go now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing her backstory and just seeing the bits and pieces put together of like how she's such a like calm and collected character, being
Mhm.
able to talk to these different personalities to try to find a way to like, hey, let's get out of here. Even like in the beginning when she tells that one girl like to pee on herself, it's like that kind of threw me off. But then like, oh, that's why she knows
It's
how
like,
to.
how did she know?
She knows how to defend herself, and like, wow, this is dark, man. This is disturbing. But overall, just alone, that movie was good. But then that little tag at the end, that reveal, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It blew my
And
mind.
the transformation of him transforming into the beast was amazing.
Yeah.
Just the strength he showed, and he just when he's bending the bars, like, oh.
Yeah, that bending the bar scene was cool. When he's climbing on the poles, smashing out the lights in
Yeah.
the tunnel, that was cool. But there was a little fantastical element to it that you gotta kind of suspend your disbelief.
Well, of course.
A bit.
If you're watching this,
'Cause-
you have to.
But that's the thing that almost went a little too far for me. Like, what's happening? But that reveal at the end put it like in context. Is like, I can believe it now, like 100% without question.
Mhm.
Why he's climbing walls?
Mhm.
Why he like the shotgun doesn't penetrate his skin? That's why. I mean, everything about this movie was just freaking awesome. I loved it. M.
And
Night
that fight.
Shyamalan.
And we didn't talk about the final reveal. Did we?
The final reveal being that it was Bruce Willis
Yeah.
in the diner. The character of David Dunn
Yeah.
from Unbreakable.
So it shows they're at the diner and they show there's TV news and they're talking about they're calling this guy the Horde.
I love that too. I love that name, the Horde, for this guy.
Yeah, they're calling him the Horde.
Because he's 24 personalities.
And this and that, and then you just hear two diner chicks just talking. What reminds you of that guy that was in a wheelchair?
From 15 years ago. That was the moment I threw my
And
hands up
then-
in the air. It's like, and I screamed, Mr. Glass.
And then and then they pull to the side. You see
And
Mr. Bruce Willis
Bruce Willis. He
going,
just
Mr. Glass.
And that was it.
Oh yeah, Mr. Glass.
That was the end. That's what made it mind-blowingly good.
Spooge everywhere.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, go see Split.
Yeah.
The word of mouth is spreading on this. That's why it's still #1 for 3 weeks in a
Yeah.
row. Such a good movie. I want to go see it again too, just to catch all the little bits and pieces that were in there earlier in place, to kind of like setting that story up. I even love the soundtrack. I've been listening to the soundtrack.
Really?
Like I'm a fan. I'm still a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I never saw After Earth or The Last Airbender.
After Earth, is that what the
The Will Smith,
Will Smith?
in the sun.
Yeah.
I still haven't
Yeah.
seen The Visit because I just kind of fell out of going.
Visit was good.
Visit I hear is really good.
Visit was good.
Yeah. But even going back, talking to people at work yesterday, they were kind of like, The Village sucked and blah blah blah. I was like, hey, I'm a big fan of The Village. I really like that. I liked Unbreakable, I like Sixth Sense. I even liked
Signs was good.
Signs
Really
was,
good.
Signs was good, even though that flaw of like, the aliens coming to a planet. Their weakness is water, and they're coming to a planet that's 75% water. It's like, okay, that's kind of funky, but
They didn't know.
based on just the story, again, he's a storyteller, and it's the story of the family, and Mel Gibson's character who lost his faith, and all this, kind of stuff leading back to his faith and with his family. But even just the idea of the happening I didn't like. That one with Mark Wahlberg. But the idea of it, of like nature and the plants and stuff, like attacking us because we're destroying the planet. So just that nugget of that idea, I liked. But the movie I didn't like.
And the acting.
What? No.
What the fuck was he going for? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Like Shatner mixed with fucking the Riddler, because it sounded like he was asking a question every time he fucking talked.
I have no idea. I saw it the once.
Plants are going crazy. Are they going for us?
What? No, that's just that famous.
No.
line, what? No. But overall,
Great
I
movie.
mean, you liked it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. I was like, I told you, good movie. So moving on to
Trailers.
nerdy news. We got again. Let's go to Stranger Things.
Yeah.
That was the big. At least for me, that was like the biggest.
It definitely put the internet on a little frenzy.
It put me in a frenzy. That's for sure.
I think out of everything, that was the top nerdy thing.
Out of the commercial trailers.
I mean, we still had the Guardians and everything like that, but I think this one tops everything right now because this one really gravitated to a lot of people.
Just that phenomenon
Even
that
my
it,
wife was
that
like,
it was last year.
Yeah.
Did you watch the show, the first season?
Mm-hmm.
Just a phenomenon that Stranger Things was.
Mm-hmm.
The nostalgia of the 80s,
Mhm.
that soundtrack, the element of the kids, very Spielberg-esque type.
And you see hints of it everywhere. So, what is it gonna do? It's just gonna make me like, all right. What more news can we get from this next week? Oh, what more tidbits are we gonna find about this?
We gotta wait 8 months. It comes out in Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
so
That's horrible.
we got a release.
Garbage.
We got a release date. Comes out in Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, with like a minute long little teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It was epic for me. Just that music. We see Eleven's back. That I'm excited for. She was one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing the kids all back together.
Yeah,
Seeing-
they better start filming this quick, because then they start going through puberty. One will be like 2 feet taller than the other.
I'm pretty sure they're already wrapped with the filming.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. Because, I mean, there's only 10 episodes this season. They started a while back. They already got the trailer out. They're ready to pump them out.
Start doing season 3, 4,
But
back to back to back.
we got just small glimpses of little things, but just the whole world is turning upside down on
Yeah.
this, as opposed to just their little town.
area. Yeah.
Now it says like this is more epic stakes and like what's going on.
Maybe
So we see Will back with the group with the friends. and
Wait, they got him back
Yeah, at the end of season 1, he's back, but we see like
finally with the whole group.
story continuing.
I bet you it's like the both worlds are trying to cross over kind of deal, kind of like a Silent Hill kind of thing, a merging of the both worlds.
I could see that, yeah, because he's tapped into the upside down. He has a connection to it because he was there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we see him like being experimented on. We see a bunch of freaky things going on.
Mm-hmm.
It looks more bigger in scope.
Yes.
As far as, I guess, whatever monster they're going to face now is like this huge arachnoid tentacled looking beast that you see off in the skyline.
So
like,
what shows you is like this world has its own, not just one, it's it has its own creatures, which is
the
crazy.
upside down?
Yeah.
Or would it be because we see a drawing of it? Does this drawing come to life somehow? Or
Might be a vision. Like,
what,
oh, this is
maybe,
what I saw.
maybe it's a nightmare sequence or something?
Could be. Could
But-
be. But that'd be cool saying, hey, this portal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be more than just a Demigorgon. There's
Right.
got to be a whole...
Plethora of other reasons, which is cool.
Beasts
It's just
and
like,
monsters
oh, this is
and-
awesome.
So yeah, just like the influence of the Duffer Brothers from the Spielberg movies and like E.T. type of stuff
Mhm.
for season 1, they're saying season 2 is going to be we're amping it up like James Cameron Alien style. It's going to be bigger and darker and more monsters and stuff like that.
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it.
But another thing I love about it was seeing the kids in their Ghostbuster jumpsuits and stuff.
Yeah.
And like they're keeping to the time, because there were some time elements that were off in the first season. Like there was a song that played in it that didn't come out in 1983.
Yeah.
But like Ghostbusters was early in 94. This is a Halloween episode, so that like Ghostbusters are around the same time. But seeing them in their outfits and with the proton packs, it's like really cool.
Oh, yes, I remember doing Halloween like that.
But they didn't look that good. My cheap little blue proton pack,
Yeah.
they didn't look as good as what those kids were wearing.
Yeah, that's Netflix
And that
money.
And that jumpsuit with the actual Ghostbusters patch.
That's Netflix money. I had a brown paper bag. That's it.
It's like, how did these kids come up? They're like professional cosplayers now? Or
Yeah. Like I said, Netflix money. But like I said, that just lit the internet a little on fire on that.
I'm just so excited. Again, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm wearing my Stranger Things t-shirt
Yeah.
in celebration.
Also, what did I breathe in? The Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
That was just more fun. This, like I said, that first trailer looks like this movie is such a blast.
How often do you see a trailer and you're smiling throughout the whole trailer?
Right?
Honestly, no, seriously, just think about that. How often do
Rarely.
you see a trailer where you're like the whole time you're just like, all right, like just
Just
like
giddy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just everything about it was just like awesome.
Visually, it looks amazing too. Like
Mhm.
with all the space effects,
Colors and
James
everything.
Gunn, like the colors of space, and
Mm.
I like just the tiny little glimpses of the space battle that we see when he's in the Milano flying around, being chased by all this stuff. It's like it looks like the space battle is gonna be a big, more epic and giant.
Yeah,
it looks like
and
it's gonna
Gunn
be
already
awesome.
said that there's no Thanos in this because like he didn't feel like he needed to be involved, and if he was just gonna throw him to throw it, it wouldn't do justice to the movie.
It may be an after credit thing, kind of leading into
But yeah, but he already said
Thor.
it.
But I
He's-
think Thor might lead more into
No, Thanos.
But I mean, I'm saying I doubt Thanos will be in Guardians, more in Thor, leading
Right.
into Infinity War.
Right, yeah.
That-
So,
yeah.
but he already came out and stated that he's not going to be in there. He says there's no real need. This movie is not based on Thanos or anything like that.
Because
But,
the only thing he was in the first one, right? Kind of because Nebula and Gamora are his daughters, right?
right,
So we do see glimpses of Thanos, but he's not the big
no,
villain of that, or
no,
even
no.
of this.
But yeah, but he already said that he's not going to be in it. So I don't even think he's going to be in the after credit either. But it's funny because what his name is Gandu.
Yandu, Yeah.
Yandu.
Michael Rooker.
all the scenes that had everybody there was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, each one had their own like specific little action
Yeah.
piece, and yeah, such a good trailer.
Drax makes me laugh so much. The shit
At the
he
end.
says.
She
Watch
got-
out!
What's her name? Mantis gets hit by something, gets knocked out of the frame.
What is-
Look out!
Oh, yeah.
I tried, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah. So like, that one have you roll. Think about it, dude. They're ending every trailer with him sitting,
with Drax.
yeah, when he clowns on him. Ah, you're in love.
do me.
do me, do me. How embarrassing! She's right here.
He's gonna be the absolute. I think he's gonna be the breakout of this one.
I
Just
honest-
the comedy.
Honestly, I think after the first one, they're like, we can do so much with him,
Yeah.
and I think we're just like, honestly, it's like, oh, they can go so much with him. Like,
Just these two trailers already just rolling.
Yeah.
This guy is awesome.
I gotta watch that movie again.
It's always a blast to go back and watch the first one.
Mhm.
The music, I'm like, and that's another thing I'm excited for this one. Is like I want to hear like the music
And
this
people
one,
are already
too.
talking about it. They're like, holding out like this soundtrack. The other one was such a great. They call it their mixtape.
Yeah.
Have you seen that character poster they have where it's all everybody's
The
names on a
tapes,
mixtape?
Like on a tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I used to do that stuff. I used to make mixtapes and just like do my own artwork of
Uh-huh.
like what my theme of that tape was. Like that brought me back. That was cool.
So
So that's a good one. Another one to be excited for.
yeah, that was awesome.
What else came out? The Transformers. Last night.
Which should be
Quick little teaser.
Michael Bay's last movie.
Yeah. So yeah, it came out that he's
in
that's the
that
last
world.
one.
So him directing.
Him
whatever.
directing the Transformers movie, which kind of another rumors that's been floating around is G.I. Joe and Transformers are supposed to kind of be the same universe, and they're supposed to, like, Hasbro, Paramount kind of want to work on a movie, G.I. Joe Transformers.
Like a reboot, soft reboot.
Not so much a reboot. I think they might continue from there.
Or Michael Bay.
But yeah, Michael Bay said, as long as I'm directing these movies, I don't want to do that tie-in or mashup. So now that's weird that he's like, hey, I'm done with this now. So I wonder if it's like, okay, Paramount's like, hey, let's get these two franchises together
Yeah,
now.
I think so.
That'd be interesting. That'd be pretty cool. Cause like, I
G.I.
mean,
Joe, the first one was awesome. The second one was just like, meh.
I wasn't too big of a fan of the G.I. Joe movies.
I like the first one. The second one was just like, they killed everybody off like really.
Yeah, literally the first like 2-3 minutes.
You're like,
I was like,
they make a whole movie where they survive everything, and then the first one.
yeah, I'm watching it and I see Channing. I was like, oh, I thought Channing Tatum wasn't gonna be in. Okay, he's not gonna be in this movie because he was gone like that.
And it was like
And then
ridiculous.
the only survivor was The Rock
yeah.
and like 2 new characters, and then they bring in Bruce Willis, being Bruce Willis,
He was
For a
who was it?
paycheck. Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
Anyways, what about the big news that we heard last week? So, it's funny because we were. I'm gonna say this too. I was on big, fuck yeah, this can't go wrong Batman thing. To hear this, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you know what? Just don't fucking give us any more news on
Exactly.
Batman.
I felt the same way.
So
Yeah.
the news is that Ben has stepped down.
From directing the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
the
mean-
thing he says was because it's such a big undertaking. He can't focus on writing and acting it and then directing it. He says
having having a hand in everything.
he
Producing,
said it was just suffering it.
directing. He's going to have a hand in editing it, and I mean, just being the character of the Batman alone, having to get in like peak physical shape,
Mhm.
being in that uncomfortable costume for 16 to 18, 20 hours a day while you're filming, and directing at the same time, and having to give a good performance is like, I can understand. You know, I don't blame him for it,
No.
but at the same time, I'm disappointed. It's like, oh, I would have loved to have
Yes.
seen a Ben Affleck directed.
So
Batman
with
movie.
that news, I was kind of fed up with it. It's like, fuck, man, because they get hit with bad news every so often. We get, this director's gonna do Flash, and then he's not gonna do it. And
We've lost 3 directors. They're rewriting the script from page 1 now. It's like on Flash.
so I honestly reach where I'm like, you know what? Keep it to yourself. Honestly, just keep it to yourself. Don't say anything.
I'm cool. I'm cool with the casting news, like we've been getting with Aquaman. It's cool.
I'm cool with that. Just don't tell us anything else.
We got our Black Manta cast. We
Yeah.
got Aquaman's parents cast. One of them being
Boba
Nicole
Fett.
Kidman.
Jango Fett. I just said.
and the actor who played Jango Fett in the Star
Or
Wars
you can say
prequels.
Boba Fett too, technically, because he's a clone of himself.
Oh.
So
So I'm cool with the casting news.
Mhm.
Give me some casting news. Gives me like casting news for the Shazam movie and the Black Adam movie. But yeah, just they're getting way too ahead of themselves. They're messing with their own schedule
yeah,
because they had a plan for 5 years and then everything went like people were happy with Ben Affleck as Batman. So like, okay, let's hurry up with a Batman movie. So they kind of meddled with their own schedule. I think they got rid of Justice League 2 to fit in the Batman there, or they
Mhm.
moved Justice League 2 back for the Batman. And then it's like now this whole Gotham
Yeah.
City Sirens business, and
They're
it's like
adding
they're-
so many things when they haven't proven themselves yet. You know what I mean?
they got to work. Let's work one movie at a time. Let's get
Let's
you know
work with
this
what we got right
universe.
now. Yeah,
Let's have a game plan for where we want to
Right.
end with Justice League kind of thing,
Right.
or let's get 3 movies, kind of like. I mean, Marvel set the example perfectly. Let's set a game plan for these 3 movies to have some sort of interconnected kind of storyline.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can each have your own standalone movies, but have some hand in a bigger picture, you know.
Yeah.
But they just got too ahead of themselves with it. They're getting too discombobulated, and things are just. It almost feels like things are falling apart. It's breaking my heart,
Does and it sucks because I want these DC movies made.
especially with Wonder Woman being done and it's looking so amazing. And then the
Justice
little
League looking
Justice
great.
League stuff. Did you see that little picture that they released yesterday with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Cyborg?
Fighting it out.
They're just like kind of looking at something, pose and attack stance. It was released yesterday from like I think Film Magazine.
Mm.
But yeah, just those little pieces of Justice League, and they're like, okay, cool. These awesome characters are gonna be together. We're gonna have Justice League, and still no trailer, no teaser, or nothing. But just a little behind the scenes footage that we've seen has been cool.
Mhm.
But it's all this other news that's happening with the world. The only thing kind of solid right now that's really looking good is just Aquaman coming together, because James Wan's got his cast coming together.
Mhm.
They're gonna start filming soon. They already started pre-production. They already showed like some of the cast together doing the script reading. It's like, okay, James Wan, he's solid. He's good. He's a director we can trust.
So you know what they need to do is then work off of that. Fuck the rest, man.
Yeah.
Focus on that right now.
Focus on that right now. Quit messing with us with the Green Lantern that's slated for 2020.
Don't
And-
even put a date. Just take it off completely. Cool. Put it in when you got your shit straight.
I'm sure we'd all be fine with them wiping everything after Aquaman off the calendar. Like none of us would see what's coming out when.
Mm-hmm.
We got Justice League, Aquaman. Okay, let's work on that stuff while you guys on your own, without telling us all the debacle
The only thing they got slated this year is Wonder Woman and Justice
for
League.
Justice League this year. Next year was supposed to be Flash, Aquaman. Now it's probably just going to be Aquaman.
Fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I would have loved to have 2. Like, I mean, like the way we have a slate of movies for the last 2-3 years,
From
like
Marvel?
from Fox and Marvel and the DC stuff. But I've just been that DC fanboy is being so disappointed.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you, and it sucks that it's you come to this point, but you gotta look at how much shit you've taken.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. How much shit have we gone through? It's
Oh.
3. It's his mic went down on
just
him.
over 3 years.
But I was gonna say the same thing. It's been 3 years of constant shit. You get good news, 2 bad shit news. Good
Yeah.
news is like fuck, 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
It's even and
like I said, it's reach. And if I'm in it, and I'm always like to look at things on the bright side. But I'm
Me
like
too.
like I told you, and it's funny. I told you, you know what? When I told you about Batman, I was like, I'm just done. I'm fucking done with this. I don't care anymore. To the fact, just because I don't want to get my hopes up, just to be like, no.
I'm even at the point that I'm so scared that the next bit of bad news is that Ben Affleck is just completely done. He's not going to be the Batman.
Oh, that
It's
would,
like
if
that
that
is
happens,
the next horrible thing
if
that
that
I'm waiting
happens,
for.
if that happens, it will kill DC movies for the next 3-4 years.
They are gonna be they'll be lost.
They had to slate almost
because
everything.
Batman is
Their world.
they restructured everything because of Ben Affleck and Batman and Batman v Superman, because Batman is their number one guy. Batman is their number one character, so they restructured everything
Bring Nolan back.
to revolve around him. And you know what? Actually, listening to Fat Man on Batman, Kevin Smith is like came up with this brilliant idea. Like they should use Batman the way the Star Wars movies are, have him in everything. Like have a Flash movie, but you know he makes his little bit. So we see Batman once a year, basically, like we see a Star Wars movie. So we have our Justice League, we have the Flash movie, because just the way in comics, Batman has his titles, 5, 6, 7, 8 different titles, and he's also popping up in every other character's book, you know?
No cameos.
So being that they want to restructure everything around Batman, have all these movies come together, and if you want Batman, just throw him in there. You know, you own him for life. Throw him in there. You don't need to just have a single standalone Batman movie.
It's true. Take you have them use them.
So that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I understand Ben Affleck's point of view, his side of it.
Makes sense, but he fucking. I just don't want to hear it anymore. I'm done. I don't want to hear it anymore.
That was heartbreaking.
On to the next news.
But I mean, do you have any thoughts on who a good director would be for that? Because my ideas were
whoever directs DC's animation should get a shot at this. And that's being honest.
The only name I know as far as that is Jay Oliva. He did the Dark Knight Returns movie, and he's done a couple others. He did, I think,
Assault
like the
on
Batman
Arkham.
and Assault on Arkham. So he'd be good with that. I can
seriously.
see that.
Bring the animation team seems to know what to do. I know it's cartoons, I know, but you look at Marvel's cartoons. They're like, whatever. Some I enjoy. There's a couple that I've enjoyed, but DC's amazing when it comes to animation.
But how about when talking about animation? How about this name, Tim Miller? Remember he directed the Arkham. Or he directed all those video game trailers, like one for the Batman Arkham Origins.
He's not on any Deadpool movies anymore.
So I mean, he proved himself to be a really good director.
Remember he directed
really good
that,
style with the
that
Deadpool.
That tearjerker Batman featurette trailer.
With the one with the face.
He shows him aging, and he just shows his emotion on his face.
Yeah. He did that one. He also did the Deathstroke one.
The fight.
Remember
scene?
when they're fighting?
Yeah.
With the
trade containers.
yeah. It's like I thought of that. I was like, yeah, somebody reminded me about that. Like that'd be perfect. Tim Miller.
Call him.
He's already. Hold on, let me get him on the line.
Yeah.
He's already proven himself. He can direct a Batman short film. Let's give him a freaking Batman movie. Him or George Miller. Directed
Pops.
Mad Max. He was going to direct that Justice League movie. That was
That
supposed to
10 years
happen.
ago or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's on borrowed time, man.
He's still got some years left in him. I mean, what he did with Mad Max, and he's going back for another 2 Mad Max movies.
We just still haven't heard anything from him.
Yeah, he's been quiet on that front. But I'm saying Tim Miller or George Miller.
So
Give him the Batman.
So you agree with me bringing the people that have done with animation where they prove themselves?
I think it's a different world.
It
Live
is.
action.
It is, but think about who he. First of all, Ben has already said that he will help direct if he needs to the guy where steps up, but he's not being the lead director or anything like that. So he's gonna have help. Ben's still writing the script, correct? That hasn't changed.
What's his name? Chris Terrio came in to kind of do another pass on the script for him. So it seems to be final, written by Ben Affleck, Jeff Johns, and Chris Terrio.
Okay. All right. Cool. And
But
then
we just don't have a director or even a start date for filming.
all right, so that's fine. But like I said, if you want to look into that world, look into the animation world. They got some guys to choose
Because
from.
they do a good job with their animated movies, but I'm just thinking that's a whole complete different beast directing animated to live action.
Well, Tim
Not
Miller's
saying
a big example of like
Not saying that
hurrah
he-
for those
yeah.
little guys to make a big jump. But then Tim Miller is pretty unique,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
And he owns that special effects
Blur
company,
Studios?
Blur Studios, yeah.
And then also, speaking of which, forgot to say this, but M. Night is already working on the script for 2.
I just
Part two
saw
is
he
what-
tweeted out he has an 11-page draft basically done for the idea for
Oh, and it starts.
yeah.
But yeah, what you got? Any other news? I see you
What
got.
else have we got?
This is a small podcast day, so what do you got for Batman comics?
I've just been catching up on any little reading I can with the comics. So
I'm
I
2 or 3
finished.
weeks behind.
Remember I told you about the rooftop story? It was like a little two-parter with him and Catwoman. It's like this most romantic thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
So I read part 2 and it's like, yeah, it's like the most romantic thing I've ever
Are
read.
you serious?
Batman and Catwoman is like awesome.
Next reading, bring it.
Awesome little
Oh,
2-issue arc.
bring it so I can read it.
And then a 6-issue arc just started called I Am Bane.
Mm-hmm.
And that first issue that I read, at the end of it, I was like dumbfounded, like what's gonna happen? Like I need the next issue now. I need to know the rest of the
is
story.
this a direct from
It's a continuation from
the Batman? Is it Detective Comics where the story came around?
just the Batman title.
From the Batman title where he had Psycho Pirate.
Yeah, where Bane's holding Psycho Pirate and he goes to Santa Prisia to break him out, and
he's
that
already-
whole kind of setup with Catwoman on all those other characters,
Yeah, where she's pretty much backstabbed them,
where she backstabs him, but that was part of the plan.
and then he sold Psycho Pirate to who?
Well, Batman has Psycho Pirate back now in Arkham.
Okay.
So then there was that little 2-issue rooftop story arc, kind of continuing the little Selena Kyle story
Mhm.
of like her killing 237 people. They're gonna sentence her to death.
Mm-hmm.
So now starts.
What's that all about? They haven't said.
It ends up not being her. It was her. What was that? Her best friend Holly,
Uh,
who goes psycho, and she's the one that committed the murder. So, but Selena kind of covered and
why
took
did she
the rap
take?
for that to protect Holly.
How did
like
she
her
kill
best
him? Over how did that happen? How did that story?
It doesn't get into that, but it's just kind of like, oh, it wasn't Catwoman, it was
Okay.
Holly, kind of reveal. And then now starts kind of like Bane's revenge from that Psycho Pirate storyline, where he's coming to Gotham to kill Batman. But it starts off with Bruce Wayne and the Robins,
Mhm.
Dick Grayson, Damian, and Jason Todd,
Mhm.
all in this.
Tim,
like-
nothing about Tim is doing that out of world
Tim's
thing.
still dead right now,
Mhm.
yeah. But they're in this like Batman themed fast food joint. It's
My
so
God,
funny.
so campy.
Because they got this dude at the register dressed up like in some cheap little Batman costume, all like burned out,
Yeah.
like taking orders. But just the interaction between all the Robins is so fun. Watching them interact and like talk to Bruce the way they talk to Bruce.
Yeah.
And, like Bruce being so serious and like he actually cracks a joke. And at the end of this issue, we see the 3 Robin bodies hanging from because he's trying, because at the same time this goes back to the Gotham story from the beginning of Rebirth with
Mhm.
Gotham Girl. The reason he has Psycho Pirate is to help cure
Gotham Girl.
Gotham Girl
Because she's
'cause she's
mentally
kinda-
broken.
Yeah. So they're taking Bruce, Alfred, and are taking Gotham Girl down to the Batcave, and they get down to the Batcave. Doors open and it's revealed the 3 Robins are hanging, like dead. They're like hung and tagged on them. It says "I am Bane," and it's just like, are the Robins dead? Like, where's Bane? Like, did he? Like, I'm like anxious now. Like, what's the rest of the story?
Wow.
What is this gonna? How
What
is this
did
gonna resolve?
why did Bane take Psycho Pirate? Is to take the fear out of him?
What was it? Yeah, he had Psycho Pirate do something to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell him like, what was it like? Have him convince him somehow that he was weak or worthless. Was that?
I don't remember. I gotta
Like,
go through that
yeah,
one.
yeah, because it's been such a long time, and
Mhm.
I've been off of reading that. But, yeah, but that I Am Bane story just got crazy at the end there.
Yeah, the
Oh,
GL.
I just I'd known for a few months that Green Lantern and Planet of the Apes were gonna have a little crossover, a little 6-issue crossover, and issue 1 just came out this week. I haven't got a chance to read it, but I picked it up. So I was like, well, let's see what this is about.
You gonna give it buy the whole thing, or you gonna give it like?
It's a
see-
6-issue arc. So usually when they have like the little mini stuff like that, I get it, like the 6-7 issues.
Mhm.
I'll read it from start to finish.
Hmm.
So that's all the comic stuff I've been.
I
doing.
haven't read anything 2-3 weeks. I've just been busy. Gotta. Next week is my first trimester test. I'm nervous for it. So, I mean, spending a lot of time at the fire department and just getting stuff for done.
Hmm.
But I got a laptop now,
You
so
do.
I was gonna say we can do a lot of comic book talk it has a camera, so we can do and record.
Sweet. Cool.
Try to experiment with that. See how that works.
Are you gonna try to fix that old one you had still, or it's just
No, yeah, that I'll probably make it
it's
into
just
like
a project?
yeah, later on.
Right on.
But yeah, all right, guys. I think this is pretty much it. It was a short news day.
I
Video
wanted
games?
to just kind of throw something about
Uh-huh.
video games. Are you going to get Resident Evil 7? Wait a minute.
No,
Actually,
no,
speaking of,
because
didn't you
I'm
say you got or you pre-ordered the VR? Weren't you gonna get that?
No,
I thought you said you were gonna pre-order that. Or
I was, but I never pre-ordered it.
never
The
did.
PlayStation VR set.
Because everything I've been seeing on YouTube about Resident Evil 7, like I am like this close to buying the VR just to play Resident Evil 7.
Because they say with the
Because it
VR it's
looks
amazing.
so freaking awesome. It's like so
People are
terrifying.
playing it with the VR.
Yeah, because this is a VR compatible game,
Oh wow.
and just to be in that, because you played the demo of it, right? The
Mhm.
Biohazard.
Yeah, it reminds me
imagine
of, it reminded me
being-
of Silent Hill.
Yeah, imagine being that, like surrounded by that, and these people popping out at you and that crazy family.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've been watching on YouTube is like, I'm now this close. If you guys can see, I'm this close. Look,
Yeah,
look,
I need
look.
I need to play 6 first. 5 and 6, I think. Yeah, 5 and 6.
I don't even remember 6. Oh, okay, I do.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's kind of a standalone thing. It doesn't.
No, I just like to follow. I don't like to jump.
Okay.
And I follow Resident Evil since I was younger. So maybe I don't know, but maybe when I get honestly after this next test, which is it's on Valentine's Day, I should be good with doing a lot more things I want to do. Which my big thing is buy shelves for the garage.
Did you use the garage?
Let me start using the garage. Because right now I don't have room to put this, and that's why we haven't moved too much. Because
Yeah.
our garage is already full, man. You'll see how much collectibles I have. You'll be like amazed.
You have your own like shop. It's like your own comic shop.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
That's about it.
Pretty much it.
Yep.
Get more for us.
Cool.
Thank you again for staying tuned, listening. For those people, we have 2 new videos for unboxing.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for
Subscribing, liking, listening, tuning in.
share, like, subscribe.
And hopefully, I think our big push for this year, our end goal is make it so we can make it full on video.
Yeah.
So once, that'll be my project, definitely. Our project was this room. We officially had it done and everything like that. My son came into the world, no big deal. We just adapt. That's gonna be my big project, is getting that garage and having the space.
Studio.
And I even want to talk about your design, how we were gonna work things up. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's another reason. Like your wife sent me a text if I wanted those banners. It's like, oh, maybe we can kind of just cut that Spider-Man out, or
Mm-hmm.
just use whatever we can. And then
Mm-hmm.
more artwork and decoration and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
All right, guys. Thanks again. Have a good night.
see you guys
Lowe's.
later.
Yeah. So.